do nothing that I say.
Master, moving stones around is one thing. This is totally different.
No, no different. Only different in your mind. You must unlearn what you have learned.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No, try not. Do. Or do not. There is no try.
We've been playing this game since before the birth of this planet, and will continue to do so long after the death of yours. We don't cause the destruction of a world, Captain Carter. We simply manage it. Feed off it, if you like. But on every host planet, it always plays out exactly the same way. Populations rise, societies divide, wars spread. And all the while, the neglected planet slowly fades.
They'll come at you sideways. It's how they think. It's how they move. Sidle up and smile. Hit you where you're weak.
How are you doing this, Vincent? How have you done any of this? You want to know how I did it? This is how I did it, Anton. I never saved anything for the swim back.
Remember, the enemy has only images and illusions, behind which he hides his true motives. Destroy the image, and you will break the enemy.
There are only two mistakes one can ever make on the path to truth: not starting and not going all the way. Buddha. I almost made a mistake. Ah, dang it, I thought I got rid of this thing. Give me a second. Where's that left border image? Yeah, let's get rid of that. Yeah, so I usually do my normal intro, and the I realized I don't have one for an open topic. I usually go straight to this. But let's go ahead and start. So hello Samantha, how you doing? Hey, some guy. Now these open topics, it's so pretty much every time in the description box in YouTube, and if you go to Steemit or Vimm.tv, you're gonna see the description box, and it's going to be provided with a Zoom link, even a call-in link, so you can go ahead and join me here on my show. Usually I would like people to join me on the specific topics, to talk about the specific topic, but on these, it's just whatever and wherever the topic of conversation goes. So if you want to talk about, I don't know, aliens, you want to talk about I don't know what Trump was saying, you want to talk about politics, if you want to talk about flat earth, if you want to talk about, you know, you can talk about anything, and we will go there. If you just want to do like a nostalgia thing and like talk about movies and music and things like that, yeah, we can talk about that too. We're pretty much not limited to what you, me, hey, even people in chat, if you guys want to talk about something, I might want to go ahead and talk about it. So people can come on in if you want to talk. Otherwise, I just keep rambling on about something until probably an hour or so, because I don't really talk about a lot of things lately. You know, I used to talk about a lot of different things, a lot of different conspiracy theories and investigations and things like that. But today, lately, it's been mostly flat earth, and a lot of it's just research into if I'm gonna talk to someone about flat earth, I'm gonna approach it a different way than everyone else that has been doing, and I'd say they've been doing a great job. Everyone in the flat Earth community, regardless, whatever division, whatever it is that's dividing everyone, as long as people can understand where the globe model approach is, the official narrative, and how they're presenting it, and just really looking at that and saying, hey, is this sound? This is what they're giving us. This is what the government's giving us. Every government out there, NASA, SpaceX, scientists, physics, everyone. They're providing this information for us. And does this seem like it's sound to you? I mean, if we didn't have NASA, if you didn't trust government, if you didn't trust NASA, you didn't trust people who have hundreds of millions of dollars and they can say whatever they want to the mass audience that's out there on network or cable TV or even in YouTube. Do you trust what they say? Do you take it at face value? Or do you just go, no, I don't trust them, so all right, let's look into this. And what I try to do, I try to approach it from the point of view of the person that's looking into it, and that's the point of view that where I was looking into it. It's first I'm gonna go, hey, did they ever reveal this to us, the government? Did they ever confess? Did they ever say, hey, this is what we're doing? Hey, is there anything that's been leaked? That'd be like the second point, but other points would be, is there any other universities, accredited news journal sites or organizations, and all of that stuff. Okay, sorry. Rambling on in a kind of neglected chat. Hello, Kathy B. Hope my presence doesn't chase Larry away. Good one. Samantha, time travel and Mandela effect. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I haven't gotten to the Mandela effect in a long time. Captain Will, I am here for the ramblings. Well, you're probably gonna get it if nobody else joins. There is a flat Earth meetup in Boulder, Colorado on the 31st at 7 p.m. by Zip Code Man at the Outdoor Mall. I don't know who Zip Code Man is. Captain Will, I accept everything globe as soon as they show the live feed of ships sailing upside down south. Half of baller. Captain B left you an article link earlier today. What? How come? Let me just look and see my comments. And let's see. Just came across, oh, an hour ago. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. What's interesting, usually I get like a email notice. I didn't get an email notice for your. Oh, here's the thing. I think when you provide a link, it doesn't send you an email notification. Oh, wait, actually I did see this somehow. So yeah, I think I saw your link. And we'll go and share it. And there we are. This is from Live Science. This is a link provided by Kathy B. Flat Earthers cruise will sail to Antarctica ice wall at the planet's edge. Right. This is by Mindy Weisberger, senior writer at Live Science. This was on March 22nd, 2 days ago, 2019, at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Picture of kind of a, I don't know. It's a flat Earth picture. Credit goes to Ian Cuming. Icon images via Getty Images. I'm gonna have to drink some coffee before I go into this. It looks like it's a short article, so that's not bad. Captain America. I have a feeling Captain America is gonna be the one that dies in the Avengers Endgame. Look, they've killed off a lot of people, even superheroes. And if all of them are going to come back, someone has to go. Otherwise, I mean, everyone knows all of them are going to come back, but there's going to have to be some death. And a lot of people were expecting Captain America to die during Captain America Civil War. If they're thinking about, I doubt they would have, because look, there's still the Avengers movies. Without Captain America, that wouldn't fly very well. But sorry, I got segued again. See, that's what happens when I ramble and no one's here. Okay, so organizers of an annual conference that brings together people who believe that the Earth is flat, and that link goes to another Live Science article. Maybe we'll get to that. Are planning a cruise to the purported edge of the planet. They're looking for the ice wall that holds back the oceans. The journey will take place in 2020. The Flat Earth International Conference recently announced on its website the goal to test so-called flat earthers' assertion that Earth is a flattened disk surrounded at its edge by a towering wall of ice. Details about the event, including the dates, are forthcoming, according to FEIC, which calls the cruise the biggest, boldest adventure yet. However, it's worth noting that the nautical maps and navigational technologies such as Global Positioning System, GPS, work as they do because the Earth is a globe. Ooh, 7 ways to prove the Earth is round. Oh, we're going to definitely check that out, Live Science. Believers in a flat Earth, again, it's not a belief, argue that images showing a curved horizon are fake. Where would they get that idea? Let's see. Did they watch my video? I mean, I don't have much views on that video of mine. They had to have watched my video, right? So I got, all right. My videos. It's out there. Genius. PBS is Genius by Stephen Hawking. You mean something like this? I mean, when people say something like this from a PBS show, or credit to Stephen Hawking, that this is
on spots of the
this stuff. I mean, this is real. The same 3 birds flying in the same pattern, left to right. Everything else looks exactly the same. You know, sometimes I think they knowingly show and reveal these things on purpose. I don't know. It's just a weird feeling. Okay, so Kathy B. Flat Earthers cruise will sail to Antarctica ice wall at the planet's edge. Right. I didn't read all the links. Got stuck at however the ancient Greeks demonstrated that Earth was a sphere more than 2,000 years ago, and we went over that with yesterday and the day before. Samantha Peters, David Ross Deicher, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, is Zip Code Man. Is that like his actual pseudonym? His pseudonym is Zip Code Man? Was it Denver Flat Earth Conference? Again, remember, I'm new to this. I'm 3 months into the into Flat Earth. Started meetups in Boulder, Colorado, no charge. So Captain Will from the fake rotations of astronauts on wire harnesses that are then edited out on IFS, International Fake Station. Yeah. So many people do the things about NASA so well. I feel like I wouldn't do it justice, but I think I will eventually try to get there because NASA is an important part. And I've done stuff on NASA in the past before I was even a flat earther. So we'll see. Samantha Peters proves we are goyim when they rub our nose in it. All right. So continuing on here. However, the ancient Greeks demonstrated that Earth was a sphere more than 2,000 years ago, and the gravity that keeps everything on the planet from flying off into space could only exist on a spherical world. And, you know, we could go over this again. I would like to talk with the, maybe it's better if I'm on the other side. There we go. Maybe it'd be good to have a talk with this writer. Okay. In diagrams shared on the FES website, the planet appears as a pancake-like disk with the North Pole smack in the center and an edge surrounded on all sides by an ice wall that holds the oceans back. This ice wall, thought by some flat earthers to be Antarctica, is the destination of the promised FEIC cruise. I like that they do mention that it's an assertion, that it's not 100%, but the reason why people are wanting to go there is to see if it is correct. Now, how can you make an observation? Or, how about this? How can we know that the Earth is flat if we just stay in Alexandria like someone named Aristophanes? Hey, Flat Earth, Victoria, Canada. Welcome. So, here we go. There's just one catch. Navigational charts and systems that guide cruise ships and other vessels around the Earth's oceans are all based on the principle of a round Earth. Not exactly. We can use some old maps back in the, was it 1600s, 1500s? Hank Kaiser, a former cruise ship captain with 20 years of experience, told The Guardian. GPS relies on a network of dozens of satellites orbiting thousands of miles above Earth. Oh, really? Let's go here. Signals from the satellites beam down to the receiver inside of a GPS device, and at least 3 satellites are required to pinpoint a precise position because of Earth's curvature, Kaiser explained. Had the Earth been flat, a total of 3 satellites would have been enough to provide this information to everyone on Earth, Kaiser said, but it is not enough because the Earth is round. Whether or not the FEIC crews will rely on GPS or deploy an entirely new flat Earth-based navigation system for finding the end of the world remains to be seen. Okay, so there's a lot of links. Let's go to how does GPS work? Oh, we'll go to that later. That's a good one. Are flat earthers being serious? Yeah, let's go over this one. Let's see. Are we being serious? This is by Natalie Wolchover and Life Science staff, May 30th, 2017. And there's a editor's note. An original version of this article written by Natalie Wolchover appeared on Life Science October 26, 2012. An updated version by Life Science staff was republished on May 30th, 2017. I wish they would link the old original version of the article. But they're not going to do that. Satellite. No photos of satellites, yeah. Members of the Flat Earth Society claim, but we know about Flat Earth Society, right? They're not quite. Majority of people who are Flat Earthers would say the Flat Earth Society are controlled opposition. Claim to believe the Earth is flat. Walking around on the planet's surface, it looks and feels flat, so they deem all evidence to the contrary, such as satellite footage of Earth as a sphere, to be fabrications of round Earth conspiracy orchestrated by NASA and other government agencies. Yeah, okay, good. I like that. I will agree. The belief that the Earth is flat, and again, it's not a belief, has been described as an ultimate conspiracy theory. Yeah, it is. According to the Flat Earth Society's leadership, its ranks have grown by 200 people, mostly Americans and Britons, per year since 2009. I'm not part of the Flat Earth Society, so judging by the exhaustive effort Flat Earthers have invested in fleshing out the theory on their website, for me, it's not a theory. For me, it's looking into the Globe Earth declarations, the official narrative that's presented to us by every aspect of society, all the governments on Earth. So fleshing out the theory on their website, as well as the staunch defenses of their views they offer in media interviews and on Twitter, it would seem that these people genuinely believe the Earth is flat. Again, belief. They like using that word. But in the 21st century, can they be serious? And so, if so, how is this psychologically possible? Oh, it's a psychological problem. Yeah. Flat Earth, Victoria, Canada. The mainstream never look into the claims about NASA or no curvature or high altitude footage. Never. Captain Will. I don't have much proof other than my sail ships going over the horizon bottom up. I'm editing videos and will show and explain how it happens That alone was the only proof I needed. Yeah, that was kind of the only proof that I really needed. All right. While writing off buckets of concrete evidence that Earth is spherical, they readily accept a laundry list of propositions that some would call ludicrous. The leading flat earther theory holds that Earth is a disk with the Arctic Circle in the center and Antarctica a 150-foot tall wall of ice around the rim. I would present that a different way. You know, I don't know if that's true or not. I just know that we really can't trust the government and NASA to tell us what's there. So if we want to know what's there and beyond, we have to go ourselves. And I have a feeling that they are not going to allow people to do it in the first place. Just like the Arctic Circle with the magnetic North Pole. They're not going to... They haven't done any landing or video or footage on the ground of the actual magnetic North Pole. Let's just... I mean, they can do whatever they want. We wouldn't know. So we have to actually go there and find out for ourselves. But I also think that's going to be very difficult to pull off because there's so much control. The military is just so expanded. It's just going to be difficult to know for sure. But here's the thing is, if people are going to the Arctic Circle, going to Antarctica, why would they care? It's like, why is it such a big deal to either prevent it or saying how ludicrous a journey like that would be? It's just let them do it. It's like the same thing. People do what religious people go off on a journey to Mecca, right? At least once in their lifetime. Maybe it's even maybe more than that. And it's not a big deal for those people. There's also a lot of people that are evangelicals going and visiting Jerusalem and stuff like that. It's like, sorry, all right, NASA employees, they say, guard this ice wall to prevent people from climbing over and falling off the disk. I don't think so. I think they prevent people from coming back from what they see and having that presented to the rest of the public. And NASA's not going to be that nice. In keeping with their skepticism of NASA, known flat earther conspiracy theorist Nathan Thompson. Well, I never heard of Nathan Thompson. Recently approached a man he said was a NASA employee in Starbucks in mid-May 2017. In a YouTube video of the exchange, I guess we'll look at it. Thompson, founder of the official Flat Earth and Globe discussion page, oh, I didn't know that, shouted that he had proved the Earth is flat, apparently saying an astronaut drowning was that proof and that NASA's lying. I might have seen that. Flat Earth, Victoria, Canada. Ships don't go over a curve. I am in Victoria, BC, and we are 20 miles across from Port Angeles, USA, and we can watch the ship go straight across. Oh, that'd be a good video to see. So let's continue on. Earth's day and night cycle is explained by positing that the sun and moon are spheres measuring 32 miles that move in circles 3,000 miles above the plane of the Earth. Stars, they say, move in a plane 3,100 miles up. Like I don't know. I just say I don't know. Can we measure, like people who do these observations and saying, hey, that's what it is? Even from the flat Earth side, I want to know your formula. I want to know your observations. I want to know how you came to that conclusion. Same thing as I would do for the globe Earth model. Like spotlights, these celestial spheres illuminate different portions of the planet in a 24-hour cycle. Flat Earthers believe, again, there's that word believe, there must also be an invisible anti-moon that obscures the moon during lunar eclipses. I think, yeah, that's a possibility. I don't know for sure. They're ancient mythological stories that it's definitely not the not the Earth. Isn't that weird? Once you study all the ancient mythologies and different civilizations, they tell you that there it's some headless being that swallows the earth or whatever it is. It's something that eats, I mean, something that eats the moon, but it can't keep it down, so that's why it starts appearing again. Or wait, I think I'm getting confused with the solar eclipses. The lunar eclipses is something else, but I can't remember what it was. But again, that's just mythology, but still, it's just interesting how all the mythologies stories about it tie in together. You would think that they would all come up with something original to say, hey, our mythology is better, but no, I guess people back then didn't really have that much of a imagination. Okay, furthermore, Earth gravity is an illusion, they say. Objects do not accelerate downward. Instead, the flat disk of Earth accelerates upward at 32 feet per second squared. I've never heard of that. Driven up by a mysterious force called dark energy? No. No. Really? I never heard of that one, and I'm a flat earther. Yeah. You know, we just... Oof, that is weird. Yeah, I know, Samantha. And, I'm just trying to tie in not just from one source, but just every source. Because if you just mention one source, it would just be, okay, that's just that one source says. But if I say, hey, whatever mythology that talks about it, look into a couple others. You're gonna realize that there's a lot of similarities. And why are the mythologies surrounding it so identical to each other? Apparently, from our history, written history that we read today, those civilizations most likely never ever met up with each other, communicated with each other, visited each other. They shouldn't have even known that the other existed, type of thing. But we're seeing that that's not the case. Anyways, I don't know if I could even go on with this stuff, so let's not. Video unavailable. Okay, that's great. And that video was going to be of the astronaut drowning. No. Let's see. Flat Earth Conference. Flat Earth International Conference, USA 2019. There's one in Dallas, Texas. It'd be interesting to go to one of these conferences, but I do not want to ever go to Dallas, Texas. I was born in Houston, Texas. I lived in Dallas, Fort Worth for, I think, a year or two. It's not a place I'm really interested in going back to even visit. Even just Texas itself. I think if I go anywhere in Texas, Austin might be a possibility. I think north or west Texas, El Paso or something, you know, just somewhere out of the way. Or maybe I could hunt some wild boar or something like that. Featuring Rob Skiba, Patricia Steer, Daryl Marble. Oh, now I know D Marble's first name, Daryl. I never knew that. Rick Hummer, David Weiss. Oh yeah, I knew that. Thank you, Nathan Oakley. DITRH, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. That's David Weiss. I need to start remembering. Matt Long. Do I know Matt Long from something? Face looks familiar. Mark Sargent. Yeah, I interviewed him, so I know that. Bob Nodell. Oh, yeah, Glowbusters. Bob Nodell. I gotta remember. Bob Nodell. When it's something like, yeah, Jaron Campanella. Okay, that's his last name. From Jaranism. Iru Landucci. Newer for everyone. So, majority of them I think I know. Let's do view all. There's a lot. going. John Christopoulos de Morgao. No, I didn't know his name. John, but de Morgao. Paul on the plane. POTP. Nathan Thompson, official Flat Earth and Globe discussion. Robbie Davidson, celebrate truth. Nate Wolf, fired for truth. Wow. It'd be nice to talk with some of them, but of course, don't have the funds to travel, go to conferences and stuff, and anywhere but Dallas, Texas, please. Okay. Live science, 7 ways to prove the Earth is round. I mean, without launching a satellite. Oh, this should be good. I like this one. We'll be in Boulder, Colorado on the 31st of this month, in March. Samantha? All right. 7 ways to prove the Earth is round without launching a satellite. Yeah, because I don't think anyone who's a flat earther is gonna launch a satellite. By Stephanie Papas, Live Science contributor, September 20th, 2017. Proving Earth is round. Okay, this should be good. Because this is the stuff that I like diving into. It's like, alright. Let's do it. Rapper B.O.B. wants to crowdfund his own satellite and launch it into space to find out once and for all whether the Earth is flat or round. As a flat Earth conspiracy theorist, the Georgia-based musician is betting on flat, but his $1 million call for cash on GoFundMe has raised only about $2,000 in its first 5 days, the first $1,000 pledged by B.O.B. himself. Fortunately, there are plenty cheaper ways than a satellite launch to show that the Earth is round. In the spirit of scientific inquiry, here are 7. Yes, the Zip Guy FE meetup. Okay. You know, can you give me more information on that, Samantha? If there's someone just tell me what I need to do is search query on, and I'll figure it out. All right, one reason. Go to the harbor. When a ship sails off toward the horizon, it doesn't just get smaller and smaller until it's not visible anymore. Are you sure about that? Instead, the hull seems to sink below the horizon first, and the mast. When the ship returns from sea, the sequence is reversed. First the mast, and the hull seems to rise over the horizon. Oh, and I'm gonna have to keep this. I might have to copy this down. The ship and horizon observation is so self-evident that 1881's Zetetic Astronomy, the first modern flat Earth text, devotes a chapter to debunking it. The explanation relies on assuming that the sequential disappearance is simply an illusion brought on by perspective. Hey, that's actually correct. This debunking does not make much sense. However, as there's nothing about perspective, which just says that things are smaller over longer distances, that should make the bottom of the object disappear before the top. If you'd like to prove to yourself that perspective isn't the reason for boats disappearing hull first and returning mass first, bring a telescope or binoculars on your trip to the harbor. Even with vision enhancement, the ship will still dip below the curve of the Earth. And again, you can go ahead and actually watch a lot of videos where that's not the case, but also if you want, you can just watch a video that the globe supporters have. And I don't know how many times I have to show this, but I like showing it.
Yeah, I have you on the telescope. Go ahead and land. As it lands, it completely disappears from my line of sight.
Let me know when you can see us on spots of the horizon.
I got him. I got him. As it lands,
So, while this is kind of finishing through, the number one reason that these shows prove that the Earth is a globe is something like Genius by Stephen Hawking by PBS, which shows the debunking of flat Earth, the curvature of the globe. So objects that disappear over the horizon will disappear bottom up. And then, of course, well, bad editing. I mean, if you're going to go ahead and reuse the same footage to fake a scientific experiment's result, you should probably double check it. Maybe have someone who just goes, hey, those three birds appearing in the same formation. I know the replay of it is just a second or two long, maybe even shorter than that, but we're just hoping that people don't catch that. Unfortunately, people did catch it. Now you just got one person to become a flat earther. Thank you, Stephen Hawking and those three birds. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to it, and here's the link. People want to go to that. Kohina and Kim, sometime I would like to revisit the flat disk making the same shadow on moon as the spherical Earth. There's one piece missing. What light source would cast the shadow? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. That's right. Because if the Earth is flat and something's casting that shadow, see, that's the thing. It's like we have to think about that one, don't we? But then it's just speculation. I hate speculating, really. Samantha Peters, look up Facebook David Ross Deitcher of the Fort Collins, Colorado Flat Earth page on Facebook. Excuse me. Like, I would love to go to Colorado. I like Colorado. Colorado seems pretty cool. I've driven up in Colorado before while I was driving from Pensacola to Seattle, Washington, Bremerton, Washington, actually. And driving through Colorado it's beautiful over there. I would love to visit Colorado again. Okay. Kohina, since the traditional flat Earth view is sun and moon spinning above. Hi, man, and talk. James, where have you been? I mean, again, flat Earth believer. It's not a belief. But you come in, man. James, we don't have to talk about flat Earth. I'm just kind of rambling on. Many people just are watching me now since I am a flat earther. And hey, you can convince me to become a flat earther, globe earther again. You know, I would love to hear your points. Okay, let's see. Captain Will, there's over 40 seconds of delay between the time the heli sets down until it rises to horizon again. In the video, let's see, because I do have that. So here I've got, do not watch right here. So the first snippet starts at 13 minutes 11 seconds, and then the second snippet starts at 14 minutes and 9 seconds in the show. So yeah, 49, 50, 58 seconds, I guess, passed by. All right, let's see. Let's see. 7 ways to prove. Okay, so we know this is debunked. If they don't think it's debunked, please come and talk with me, and I doubt you'll come and talk with me. Okay, look at the stars again. We're off to Aristotle. We're gonna prove what the shape of is on Earth by looking at the stars. Look, I know all these points by heart now, you know, because I need to make sure I know the globe Earth declarations and present that because what's funny is most of the people who are globe Earth believers, they don't know any of this stuff. They go, oh, someone 2,000 years ago figured it all out. They go, really? Which person? And they won't remember the person's name. They won't remember what the person had thought of, which proved the Earth is a globe. Okay, so continuing on. Greek philosopher Aristotle figured out this one in 350 BC, and nothing's changed. Different constellations are visible from different latitudes. Probably the two most striking examples are the Big Dipper and the Southern Cross. The Big Dipper set of 7 stars that looks like a ladle is always visible at latitude of 41 degrees north or higher. Below 25 degrees south, you can't see it at all. In northern Australia, just north of that latitude, Big Dipper just barely squeaks above the horizon. It's also perspective. It's also your latitude lines are all presented in the model of the globe Earth. So you're going to make sure that that is presented as it is. Samantha Peters. Denver Flat Earth Group is big. ODD TV and others are there. Boulder is just starting out. Fort Collins has been there a few years and growing. Yeah, I'm just going over an article. Meanwhile, in the Southern Hemisphere, there's the Southern Cross, bright 4-star arrangement. That constellation is invisible until you travel as far south as the Florida Keys in the Northern Hemisphere. These different stellar views make sense if you imagine Earth as a globe. If you have to imagine Earth, look, you have to imagine Earth as a globe to prove that Earth is a globe. That's ridiculous. So looking up really means looking towards a different sliver of space from the southern or northern hemisphere. All right, Mana or James. I guess we know your position. Yeah. I won't even go there. All right, so watching eclipse. Aristotle also bolstered his belief. Really. Yeah, so that right there in the previous one, you're saying he's bolstering his belief. So we're going over one person's belief from 300 BC, 350 BC to just any other person's belief anywhere around since then. In around Earth, with the observation that during lunar eclipses, the Earth's shadow on the face of the sun is curved. Again, this one is can be proven as no, it's not proof. Again, for people new watching that didn't watch last night or night before, you get a light source, say this is the sun, this is the moon. Gosh, I need to figure out where we're doing this. Alright, how did I do this before, guys? Here's the shadow. See the shadow, that curved shadow that's cast onto the moon? Right? The closer I get to the thing, it's darker. See that? Curved. Obviously, that curved shadow that's cast onto the moon has to be a round ball. That's what they're saying. Is this a round ball? So, there we go. Well, I just debunked that. I'm in my basement. I got just a poster of the moon. Got a flat cutout. And I got a bright light source. 1500 lumen LED light. Pretty simple. I debunked that right here. I debunked Aristotle's belief in around Earth. I just topped Aristotle in a battle of wits. Anyways, continuing, since this curved shape exists during all lunar eclipses, despite the fact that Earth is rotating, Aristotle correctly intuited, because you can't say scientifically proved, because there was no scientific method back then. Scientific method, when did that originate? Francis Bacon, 1621 AD, was the first to formalize the concept of a true scientific method with the help of the work of Nicholas Copernicus and Galileo Galilei. And this you can find on Google search results. It'll be in Wikipedia. It'll be in any encyclopedic source. It'll be in like, say, NASA. I'm pretty sure they'll have it. Physics. They'll have it. Any scientific journal will probably have it. If you probably go to Scientific Britannica or whatever, they'll have it. Oh, pin the image to my curtain, Kathy. You're a little bit too smart. You're smarter than me. Samantha Peters. My guess, the moon eclipse is if the moon has a shutter that closes or opens. You'll have to walk me through that. Kohina. It doesn't have to be a rounded ball. Just the positioning is questionable at this point. Yes, correct. Because if there's any position that's skilled, like just off in a flat disc model, then yeah, you're not going to get that perfectly curved shadow like you would a round ball. Hi Kelly, how you doing? So you're still making videos of the politics. I'd like to know how that's going. You could go and come on in and talk to me about anything. It's open topic. I have a stash. You can compliment me on my stash. Let me know what you think, or you could just be laughing at it. Meanwhile, I'll just keep continuing on. And let's see, it's 47 minutes. Man, 47 minutes goes by quick. So, you know, I'm having fun. I guess I can keep going for another 45 minutes if nobody joins. Again, it's kind of hard to always be talking at the same time. All the time while I'm doing something. I feel like I had to be entertaining in some way, but really it's not. It's just, I really want to communicate with other people and see what they've been looking into, what they've been doing, and just getting an idea of, like Kohina just mentioned, what is the light source? That is a great question. Good night, Captain Will. Thank you for stopping by. And the information for the flat earth in Boulder, that's something that I should check out. David Ross Dacher in the Fort Collins, Colorado flat earth page, although I don't really like Facebook. Kathy B, you don't have a phone or you'd love to join. Do you have a mic? Do you have a laptop? Most laptops have mics. You could always just talk through the app of whatever of the laptop that you have. Okay. Yeah, let me know what you have. Like rolling a window up and down, Samantha Peters. It has a shutter that opens or closes. But would that just be for lunar eclipses, or I mean, would the sun have the same thing? I don't know. Yeah, if you have a laptop with Skype, Kathy B, if you communicate on it, you could do the same thing with the Zoom application. Zoom is a lot better than Skype. Okay, let's keep going here. Ah, shoot. For that matter, solar eclipses also tend to bolster the idea that the planets, moons, and stars are a bunch of roundish objects orbiting each other. If the Earth is a disk and the stars and planets are a bunch of small nearby objects hovering in a dome above the surface, as many flat earthers believe. I'm not one of those. The total solar eclipse that crossed North America in August 2017 becomes very difficult to explain. Yeah. I mean, difficulty never stopped anyone from explaining things or running scientific experiments or observing and contemplating what it could be. Go climb a tree. Oh, no headphones are external mic. But is there internal mic, Kathy? Alright. So looks like another explanation to prove the Earth is a globe is climb a tree. This is another one of those self-evident things. You can see farther if you go higher. If the Earth was flat, you'd be able to see the same distance no matter your elevation. Think about it, your eye can detect a bright object like the Andromeda Galaxy from 2.6 million light years away. Again, that's a globe Earth assertion that it is 2.6 million miles away. Seeing the lights of, say, Miami from New York City, this is a mere 1,094 miles. On a clear evening should be child's play, but it's not. That's because the curvature of the Earth limits our sight to about 3.1 miles. Unless you climb up a tall tree, building a mountain, you get yourself a perspective from higher up. So are you saying you'll see curvature the higher you go? I would like for you to speak with Neil deGrasse Tyson on that one, because he says even if you go up to 120,000 feet, which is 4 times the height of an airplane, and that's equivalent to a ball representation. I think it was like a inflatable globe. If you're 2 millimeters above the surface of the Earth, being 120,000 feet within that inflatable globe, saying you can't see curvature on Earth, it's flat. He says that. So talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson on that. You don't need to talk to me. Samantha Peters, just like your eyelid opening or closing. I think the sun and moon are angels. Enoch or genocide. I don't know about that one. That's an interesting one. Gabriel Matthew, I believe all the stars are angels. It's a hard one to put that on me because I don't believe in things, so, but I will contemplate it. I won't dismiss it. I will listen to it. I like beliefs. I like to think about and imagine it, and because even if it is just a belief, I'd like to know it. You know. Ali already signed into Skype. Yeah, Skype has this here. You're always signed in unless you sign up. It's always going to be on. As long as you're on, I think, Windows 10. I think you're on Windows 7. It's not. Don't know how to use. So Samantha says, don't know how to use a mic on phone. I'm not tech savvy. The phone is built in. Has a built-in mic. You mean like as a smartphone with an app? It should automatically configure it if you're on a smartphone to configure your mic on your phone's mic on Skype or Zoom. The easiest thing you do is just try. Just if you want to come on in, just download, click on the link. It'll, whatever it is, your computer, smartphone, it'll automatically download the application, run it, and you'll be in. And then in Zoom, I'll just let you in, and then you could try to get your mic working when you're in there. If you're on a smartphone, it should automatically work. If you're in a computer, you might have to set up your microphone. So there's that. All right, so this next one, take a round the world flight. This one should cost you considerably less than $1 million, although you will have to drop a few $1,000s. Anyone can circumnavigate the globe nowadays. There are even travel firms like Airtreks that specialize in multi-stop round the world routes. You won't have to retrace your steps to land where you started. Would they do one where you're just circumnavigating from the Antarctic to the Arctic Circle and going that way? Because that would be cool. I would love to do that. I doubt it though. But let's look at Airtreks, you know, because we didn't. I mean, we're just assuming that they wouldn't go from circumnavigate the world through the Antarctic into Arctic Circle, but maybe they do. All right, if you get lucky enough to get an unobscured view of the horizon and a high enough commercial flight, you might even be able to make out the curvature of the Earth with the naked eye. Oh, actually, no. Again, speak with Neil deGrasse Tyson. And look, obviously, you're not going to take my word for it, but Neil deGrasse Tyson, you know, if you probably disagree with him, even you're probably could be considered crazy by everyone in your staff at Live Science. According to a 2008 paper in the journal Applied Optics, the Earth's curve becomes subtly visible at an altitude of around 35,000 feet as long as the observer has at least a 60-degree field of view. Oh, let's get read. This is an interesting one. I am definitely going to copy and paste this one. Are you serious? We're going to have to look at that journal in Applied Optics. Well, that's more ammunition there. As long as there's at least a 60-degree field of view, this may be difficult from a passenger plane window. The curvature becomes more readily apparent above 50,000 feet, of course. Passengers on a now grounded supersonic Concorde jet were often treated to view the curved horizon while flying at 60,000 feet. Oh, let's see. Do they have curved windows? Let's see. Concorde jet curved horizon 8,000 feet. Oh yeah, they definitely look curved. I mean, look how even the sun is curved when you're in Concorde. Okay, that's just probably a bad shot. You can't really quite tell the Earth isn't quite round, but again, they're not taking a. Oh, this is from a Concorde. That could be the plane, but I mean, this is. Whew. Really? Is that a real photo? Wired? I don't think so. Maybe they have videos. Showing curvature with no clouds by Wolfie 6020. Wait, did they say no clouds? Links to additional videos showing the curvature with no clouds. Yeah, this one shows shows curvature with no clouds. What? Are you calling that curvature? I don't know. Let's look at the other one. Oh, that looks curved, right? So. That, of course, you got to see. Oh, we can see it's going to be an angled glass over there. That can cause the curvature. But then again, let's see. I guess Neil deGrasse Tyson is wrong again. It is not flat. I don't know. It's like, do we take Neil deGrasse Tyson's word for things or not? Again, this person is pretty dedicated for Globe Earth. Wolfie 6020. That's a lot. And he's got a lot of views. I never heard of Wolfie. I mean, he's dedicated. Do we know Wolfie's face? Do we get to see his face? Do we get to see his name? Let's look at about. No, the Earth is not flat. Equinox sun angles prove we live on a globe. And that's good. You know, you're definitely like me, and you disprove a lot of people. Like I've disproven Aristotle and Pythagoras and Anaxagoras and all that. I guess you prove something that no one else has proven except for NASA. Any channel claiming otherwise does not understand the geometry. Okay, let's go for it. Flat Earth has no map. Ask them to show you a map that works. They can't. Yeah, because we're not allowed to draw maps and go anywhere we want. We've got gatekeepers. I have no idea how to navigate around the real Earth. Just ask them to show you how they do it. They can't. Well, we would use probably the same methods as those in the past. Compass, sextant, the night sky, sundials. Probably wouldn't use the GPS and stuff like that. And that stuff probably wouldn't even be available if we want to check out areas that we're not supposed to check out. Okay, we're people who struggle to understand basic mathematics, geometry, and physics, therefore cannot see the simple evidence why the Earth cannot be flat. So, show that evidence. First, show your face, show your name. Oh, is this it? Oh, that's critical think. I want to see. Is that you? Oh, no. That's someone else. Wow, this person. So afraid to show his face. Definitely an agent. Probably gets paid a lot. I mean, that's a lot of stuff. Well, that's a lot of gear and gadgets. I wish I had that stuff. And he started off 2 years ago. And what did he start off with? Flat Earth, globe Earth. You pretty much look at anybody else that's in Flat Earth, anyone who's made videos of everything else but Flat Earth. But the agents, who you don't know their names, you don't see their face, they come straight in saying, no, Earth is not flat, and all I'm going to do is make videos on YouTube about that. I'm not going to talk about anything else. He won't do fishing videos, he won't do topics on ayahuasca, he won't do topics on NPCs, stuff that's like highly popular, stuff on Rudolf Steiner or being independent, or talking about, or just listening to people like Michael Cesario, Jay Parker, Mark Passio, playing video games. That's a popular thing. Talking about Terrence McKenna, Unity for J, going on actual different types of activism stuff, and talking about cult of personalities, even Donald Trump, maybe even boycotting Israel, and Peter Strozak making memes. Again, deer and wild turkey in Story, Wyoming, fishing at Piney Creek between Story and Kearney, and flooded basements and all this stuff. No. I mean, or birds that are on your nest. And it wasn't 2 years ago. It was, goodness, how far can I go on my own videos? Sorry, I've got like 600 and whatever videos. More of that didn't get. I mean, I started with politics, but my channel's been around a long time. If there's an about, I joined on March 1st, 2006. When did this guy start? September 15, 2009. Oh, he had his thing for a while. Location Australia. And hit the ground running on globe Earth. Obviously it matters what people think by the shape of the Earth to him. That much. Takes so much of his time to focus on that. It's like, what? You can't focus on crap. I can't go back to videos and all the way back, can I? Yeah, I can't. Obviously can't talk about anything else on YouTube. Heck, that wouldn't be right, huh? Suspect. Yeah, I know, Kohina. All right, so again, according to people that are not Wolfie and person who wrote the paper in applied optics, and you know what? They don't seem to even link, so we're gonna have to find it on our own. You don't provide a link. Come on, Live Science. I thought you guys were journalists. Provide links to the source. Okay, so get a weather balloon. In January 2017, University of Leicester students strapped some cameras to a weather balloon and sent it skyward. The balloon rose 77,429 feet above the surface, well above the level needed to view the planet's curves. The instrument board, actually, again, just like the other two. Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson on that one. The instrument board, the balloon sent back stunning footage that shows the curve of the horizon. And again, that's probably a wide angle lens because we've actually also sent, flat earthers have actually also sent weather balloons up there, and it was flat. So what's the difference? Well, just like the difference between my GoPro. You know, if I put a setting, what is it? Where the field of view is linear. Oh, wait, what happened to me? Did I disappear? Oh, it did. Give me a second. It's like, why? What happened here? All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Whew, that was weird. Yeah. All right. So, GoPro, linear, right? Wide and super view. Let's see how well things look. All right. This is edge of the paper. I need to pin this up. Okay. And you know what? Let's switch it to there. All right. Good. How do I get that straight? And it's not gonna. This might be a bad example here. That sucks. Anyways, you know, you got wide and super view. Wide and super view. Okay, actually, let's look up at the ceiling. Okay, this is linear. You see my curtains. You guys can see that, right? Straight. It's straight, right? Right? It's not curved at all. Okay. Let's go for wide lens. Oh, suddenly there's curvature. My curtain is a globe. You guys don't know it, but it's a globe. Oh, and it's more of a globe when I go on super view, right? See that? There you go. See super view? I know there's a lot of glare. Come on, where's that? All right, there we go. See that? I have a globe curtain. But you set up at linear, and there you go. It's straight again. How did I get that angle? Anyways, it's easy to do tests on that. I don't want to bore you guys with GoPro settings. I just want to give you an example, because it seems like they'll give you one biased example and they won't even consider the other examples. Excuse me. Okay, so no, that could be easily biased. Compare shadows. Oh, okay, we're going back to Pythagoras and Anaxagoras, huh? Oh, actually, Eratosthenes, who actually borrowed the idea. So, okay, compare shadows. The first person to estimate the circumference of the Earth was a Greek mathematician named Eratosthenes, who was born in 276 BC. He did so by comparing shadows' case on the day of the summer solstice in what is today Aswan, Egypt, with the more northerly city of Alexandria. At noon, when the sun was directly overhead in Aswan, there were no shadows. In Alexandria, a stick set in the ground cast a shadow. Eratosthenes realized that if he knew the angle of the shadow and the distance between the cities, he could calculate the circumference of the globe. They say on a flat Earth there wouldn't have been any difference between the length of the shadows at all. The sun's position would be the same relative to the ground. Only a globe-shaped planet explains why the sun's position should be different in two cities a few hundred miles apart. Well, you don't have the full story either. If you actually go and look at the explanation, And again, this is just on Wikipedia, right? And all those sources are there. There's no sources in this journal or article, but in Wikipedia there are citations for references. Okay, so he never left Alexandria, just so you know. That would be kind of something to point out there, because everyone else seems to point that out, that he was able to calculate the Earth's circumference without leaving Alexandria. And he had to he had to have 5 important assumptions, and none of them were perfectly accurate. The main one is that the Earth is a sphere. He had to assume that in order to measure the circumference of the Earth, because I mean, he didn't say he proved this was a proof that Earth was already proved to be a sphere, therefore that's why he was able to make it. No, he assumed that Earth was a sphere, and that's where he got his output. So, and again, the light rays emanating from the sun are parallel. That's another assumption. That's the assumption that it seems like Wolfie is. The equinox sun angle proves we live on a globe. He's using the same assumption, not a proof, that apparently Eratosthenes made. Apparently, over 2,000 years didn't really give. He didn't notice that it was an assumption. So, and look again, taking the Earth as spherical, no proof that it was spherical. And if you cite all the other people who claim that the Earth was a globe, Pythagoras, Anaxagoras, Aristotle, Aristarchus, no. Curved shadows onto the moon from Earth. I already showed you. It could be a circular flat disk. Same thing with the Anaxagoras. Aristotle observations, of course, around until 621 AD. There's no such thing as scientific method, so it's all observations. And again, it's about observations looking up to tell you what the shape is down below you, which you can't see unless you were up there, far, far away. So no, that won't tell you that the Earth is a globe. Aristarchus, Earth rotates on its axis and revolves around the sun. Could be the other thing, that there's no axis and the sun revolves around the Earth. There's really no way to tell. He had geometric construction on lunar eclipses, and assuming that the sun is 18 to 20 times further away. And of course, he didn't prove that Earth was a globe. He only stated that Earth rotates on its axis and revolves around the sun, which that could also apply to a flat disk model, not just a globe Earth model, round ball model, you know. Yeah, we live on a globe curtain. My GoPro proved it. You guys crack me up. Okay, it looks like that's it. Those were 7 ways to prove the Earth is round, and definitely those aren't proofs. Observations are not proofs. Assumptions are not proofs. Just conclusions aren't proofs. Scientifically, if you want to call them proofs, you can't apply that to anything from before Francis Bacon's time. And even after Francis Bacon, with Isaac Newton, Blaise Pascal, Florent Perrier, Otto von Guericke, Henry Cavendish, Albert Einstein, these are not proofs either. Even Inge Lehmann is not proof. It's deduction, observation, hypothesizing, more observations, measurements, and claims, not scientific experimentation, evidence, proofs. So none of these I ever seem to state scientific proof, or even saying scientific experiment in any of these sources where I pretty much copy pasted. Kills me that I had to point this out. Alright, anybody out there that wants to talk about anything other than flat Earth or the globe Earth model is just not holding up to scrutiny? That's a better way to term it, I would say. I need to focus on my terminologies a lot better, because the terminologies of flat Earth, I think I'd rather not use flat Earth term. I think I want to be, excuse me. I think I want to change it around. Even though I may put flat Earth in the title, I think I want to just find a different way. Maybe it's like a segue into flat Earth or something like that. But it's basically, let's look at the globe. Earth is globe proof. The declarations, run the observations, see if we can deduce the same thing and not get a different result. Apply as much of you can't really apply scientific method to that, to the Earth, unless we're far away. Maybe NASA will give us a pass and run some real scientific experiments, but I guess not. And then just logical thinking. So this is just gathering the case made by mainstream official sources or accredited sources. Yeah, okay, let's stop talking about it. Mandela effect. So yeah, I feel like I'm someone who's affected by the Mandela effect. I haven't put more thought into it. The latest thought I have on Mandela effect, that it could be a psyop, but it's easy to say anything could be a psyop, so that's kind of taking an easy way out. Because here's the thing about rabbit holes with conspiracy theories, is you can really never find out the whole truth, because you have to go somewhere to the source, and if you get to that point where it's the source, it's usually blocked. There's a gatekeeper effect. I don't know what happened here. Alright, yeah, so there's like a gatekeeper effect. You're gonna get stuck. There's gonna be some government authorities saying, I'm sorry, you can't look into this, it's a matter of national security, or it's a government corporation. It says, look, like, we're not going to reveal to you anything inside this black box. And there's just a lot of theories, or not conspiracy. It's a lot of conjecture, assertions, and things like that. And it's like the Mandela effect. We can say that it's a phenomenon certain people experience, where they not just an individual, but a group of individuals. It's not just something, and it's I remember it the same way. Is it psychological? Is it actually reality that's changing, or something like that? People attribute it to, some people attribute it to CERN. Some people attribute it to quantum computers. Some people attribute it to the new age, the age of awakening, the new the age of Aquarius, apocalypse, not apocalypse, yeah, apocalypse, was just the great revealing or something, I don't know. So there's just a lot of assertions, conjecture, no proof, no scientific experiment that could be done, but it's fun. Like Bernstein Bears, the Berenstein Bears, I remember as Bernstein Bears. Billy Graham's funeral on TV, I don't know about that one. Not the Challenger colors, chartreuse, and more. I did not regard chartreuse as pink or reddish color. It's actually yellow-green, yeah. Curious George with a tail. I always remember Curious George with a tail. He never had a tail. Wow. Didn't really watch Ghost Hunters, the Henry VIII portrait, and Jif or Jiffy peanut butter. Hey Ben, how you doing? Haven't seen you around in a while.
Hey there.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
That's sweet.
All right.
Yeah, man. How are you
Good.
these days? Cool. No, I've been watching for like the last 5 minutes. I saw it was like an open topic
Yep.
thing, and so
What'd you like to
I
talk
was
about?
I'd be happy to talk about flat Earth with you for a second because I'm
Sure.
just curious what shape you think the Earth is, and if you think that you just I mean maybe you think it's, I don't know, not assuming, but I just wondered what shape you thought the Earth was, and then also like what you thought about orbit and things revolving around things. You don't think that's a myth, or do people think
You
that's a
mean
myth?
that the Earth is
Flat earthers?
rotating 1,000 miles per hour at the speed of I don't know, was it 66,000 miles per hour, and the sun is moving even faster than that type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, basically that's the science. That's what science says anyway.
Yeah. Well.
They're pretty confident about about guess spaces and in space.
Yeah.
They're pretty confident about those things, like their measurements for like they think they can detect like an atmosphere of a a planet near a star, or they
I understand the entire globe Earth, their declarations. Now, do you know when the when they, I guess, say they attribute the proof of where a vacuum is space, who discovered it, and when?
I own a copy of Lucretius' complete writings, and but honestly, to be honest, I only studied them a tiny bit. Like, I really need to actually read that book. It's on my list. But I read a little bit about Lucretius, or whatever he said about atoms, and what he said about atoms, and I thought it was, but no, I don't. But I'm not super familiar with all that. I just know that people basically always wanted to like have a bird's eye view, and I'm sure like we've taken that basically as far as can be taken with Mars and
Okay.
Jupiter and so forth.
Let me fix my volume real quick.
Sure.
Okay, 80. Yes, I don't know why it causes my mic to jet out, but it should be good now, just so you guys know. Thank you, Kathy and Samantha, for letting me know. All right, so first we'll start off. Okay, so there's 3 people attributed who worked on air pressure: Blaise Pascal, Florent Perrier, and Otto von Guericke back in the late 1600s. They demonstrated that the density of the Earth's atmosphere decreases with increasing altitude, and that's measurable even today, and can be proven with scientific experimentation and tests. Now,
were they messing with gases, like experimenting with chemical gases and stuff?
I don't know. I'll have to look in exactly how they measured it and demonstrated that. But their conclusion was that there must be a vacuum between the Earth and the Moon. So in the 1600s, how would you confirm that conclusion?
Not too sure.
Yeah.
Math, reason.
Okay.
So, building on a theory, building on a system.
Yeah, it seems like
they weren't all that wrong about the atoms way back in Lucretius's day or whatever.
Yeah, but
and I guess they were pretty wrong, but at the same time, like they still were right. There was a basic atoms of things.
But this is we're just trying to find out something simple. It's just the shape of the Earth, correct? So we don't need to worry about atoms at this point. Now, there is a case for the vacuum of space because of the atmosphere, and something has to work against gravity, and all of the intricacies of the globe Earth model, right? So
right. Well, there's radiation and gravity and
okay.
light.
So who first attributed who do they say that first proved that the Earth was a globe? If you can go back as far as you can through history, you can go and do a Google search. How far back and who was it and what was their assertion?
Well, I mean, I think it's interesting to note that that people wanted to figure out seafaring, and they wanted to determine what the thing actually was and have accuracy in sea traveling calculations. I think maritime travel, calculations. I think that's what was a driver there to figure it out, and different cultures did. And then the Christian church came along and said, apparently, according to the folklore of it all, said like, oh, it's this flat world and you're gonna fall off the edge, and don't, like Wizard of Oz, don't look behind the curtain, like, or don't check it out for yourself. But I appreciate the extreme skepticism of it, because I think that the people tend to live in their heads, with religion and whatever. Even today, even when most of us have determined or arrived at the Earth not being flat, people still live in this religious context of a based context of things. And I think we live in a solar system, actually galactic context. Actually, it's an actual physical place. And I don't know, it's cool. It's too big to almost imagine, conceive, fathom, but yet, I guess we're getting pictures of that and able to see that like never before. Like, our telescopes are better than they've ever been, just like our microscopes. And
so maybe we'll just start fresh. So do you think the Earth is a globe? Or what shape do you think the Earth is?
I think it's round, like a globe. Yeah,
like a globe. Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense with motion. Path of least resistance. You got the spinning circle. That's
good.
Somehow
Okay.
the gravitational force, it works out. It makes.
Good. I know you keep going on and on. You could just repeat what others have said. Now, give me your number one proof that Earth is a globe, and don't say it's NASA. Don't say it's some government agency. Don't say it's someone else that showed you a picture that here's this Earth. Because I could show you a picture of a flat Earth.
My number one proof that I'm relying on is basically a combination of all sorts of proofs that lead to the
just
consensus.
Name one, the biggest one.
Well, it's just the main thing is the consensus that you find.
Okay,
with,
so consensus is what you're saying.
And from all areas, from all angles, from all fields, from
Are you a Christian?
From all denominations and
May I ask you if you're a Christian?
No.
The consensus is the majority of people on Earth are religious, are Christians. So that's a consensus, but you don't believe in Christianity? You're not Christian?
No, I don't think it's like that. I believe there are like almost equal amount of Muslims, and if you look it up.
Okay, so are you a Muslim?
Bronze, no. The Heel Gabron's The Prophet sold 10-12 million copies.
Okay,
and
so are you a Muslim?
Tao Te Ching by
Can
James.
you answer the question?
The Tao Te Ching has been sold about 11 million, 12 million copies, 15 million copies,
Okay.
I believe.
So what do you think the most popular religion out there is?
I think there are several. I know there are several.
What do you think is the main one?
The almighty dollar.
Okay. Do you worship the almighty dollar? If that's the consensus?
No, I think you have to some extent.
And again, is consensus proof of something? Just because majority believe it is true?
Well, I think that if there was actually something, contrary going on, then you would have a larger faction than you do.
So before globe Earth, it was flat. I mean, every history book says it. I mean, until I guess Pythagoras or until Eratosthenes, whoever you want to attribute to proving globe Earth, at that time it would be that they're in the very, very minority. Majority believed that the Earth was flat. So consensus, they were right at that time. They're just not right now, because consensus now believes that the Earth is a globe. More people believe that, so that's true now. But it wasn't true back
Agreed.
then because the consensus back then was majority of people believed it was flat.
Maybe.
Isn't
Did
that
they? Or maybe the majority of people were agnostic about it.
isn't that a kind of an illogical conclusion though, based on consensus? Therefore,
I think most people couldn't read and write, and most people had no wherewithal or recollection whatsoever about the shape of the Earth. They probably just believe whatever their mythology led them to believe.
oh, so it just believe what others people tell them things are without them able to prove it themselves. Is that what you're saying?
I think it didn't rank as like of the foremost importance for most people. And even now, like if the Earth was flat, how would that affect your life?
Well,
It would be a priority.
first of all, I would pretty much do what I'm doing now. I would basically disband every government. I wouldn't pay any government a dime. I wouldn't pay NASA a dime. It's pretty much proof that they're lying and have been lying. They've been holding this lie for centuries. So why would anyone keep up with the current system? Everything would fall apart. And what's if let's say Earth is proven to be flat? Would you still support NASA?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
They'll say, hey, even though Earth is proven to be flat, we're still gonna, have our space stations that are.
We still need, yeah.
You would support NASA. That's going a long way. So basically, you support
going a long way. Actually,
you support President Trump, then I assume.
No.
Why not?
Well, I don't know. I might support him kind of relatively if another horrible candidate like Hillary is in there.
So if Hillary was president, you support her too?
No, if Hillary was the nominee,
why not? Why would you?
I would like, in some sense, I would like almost be guilty of supporting Trump because I would rather Trump than Hillary still.
But why? Is it just personal preference?
No, it's just the lesser of two evils.
So an organization that's lying to you, yeah, you're still support it. It doesn't matter that they lied. That they have a budget of $51 million a day. You don't care.
I indirectly support. I'm a Trump supporter if I'm thinking that the lesser of the two evils, then I would really not like to see the other evil.
Is lesser of the two evils still evil?
Anyway, but yeah, what you never.
Why don't you ever like answering any of my questions? I like answering yours, Ben.
Well, you didn't answer what shape you thought the Earth was.
You wouldn't let me finish because you kept talking. So, obviously, the Earth that we experience from day to day is observably flat and not curved. And we don't see any curvature at all. And there's no way to prove it. The only way that we get our information that the Earth has been proved is that it's stated from NASA and the governments that, hey, look, here's pictures, compilations, whatever it is, drawings, and this is the shape of the Earth. And, like, again, I'm trying to explain to you. So if they're lying all this time, obviously I'm not going to support that globe Earth model. So the only reasonable explanation aside from that is, well, we experience a flat, non-rotating, non-moving Earth. So I guess it's non-rotating, non-moving, flat. I don't know if it's completely circular. I don't know if it's a square. I don't really know anything. I can assert. I can't prove. But what I can do is I can prove that the model of the globe Earth that's been stated in all these historical context, scientific context, observational context, mathematical context, doesn't hold up to scrutiny.
So are you sure it's not just like some sort of like situation where you have things that are 3D that kind of look 2D? You can't really be sure. Like, I mean, it looks.
Yeah. Okay. So shadows cast onto a surface. Are those shadows 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional? Both. Explain how it's both.
It might appear to be like 2D in a way. Like your TV is like flat, but then there's like definition in it. Like the shadow might be cast upon, you know, bushes that are round, let's say, and then there's the 3D aspect of those bushes themselves that have a shadow cast over them.
All right, look at my screen. All right, you see this picture? It's two-dimensional representation. It's still three-dimensional. It has some width, although very small.
So the moon legitimately is round, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not. It's circle. We don't know if it's a ball. Now, the shadow that's going to be cast onto it.
Could be paper thin. Could be paper thin in reality. Okay.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, all right. Now there's a shadow cast onto this Earth, or the moon, right here. Okay, that's a circular shadow. Okay, you can see that. And now, is the object that's casting the shadow, is that a round object? Does it have to be a round object? Do you see it right now?
Yeah, you mean three-dimensionally, like, yeah.
I mean, can you prove that curved shadow that's on the moon picture, that it's a ball that's casting that shadow?
Yeah, I mean, if the moon was paper thin, then wouldn't the sun's light just go right through it?
Do you see 3 dimensions within the moon?
Instead of having new moons, we have like a illuminated moon.
Does it matter what? Look, it's a 3-dimensional object no matter what, but it's a 2-dimensional representation of what we're seeing. Just like a shadow. Shadow, it has no width, it has no volume. It's a 2-dimensional representation. But any object that's casting it isn't going to be 2-dimensional. Do you understand that?
If people were flying around airplanes from like they fly from America to Russia, they fly from Europe to Hawaii, and like they're flying ultimately around Earth, and they're
how do you know that?
They're taking hot air balloons and they're taking ships.
You mean
and they're in?
So have you ever circled your
ship in?
Have you ever
noticed?
Please stop. I know you like talking and continue talking, but you gotta let me interrupt to say one thing. It's like if you're running around the circular track, jogging around, is that a ball? Is that a globe that you're running around, or is it just a circle?
It's a circle.
Okay, so you can travel around the circle. It doesn't have to be a globe. So same thing. You can travel around the Earth, and it could be a circle. That doesn't mean the Earth is a globe. You could
I think if you're in the International Space Station, it looks like a globe. Looks like a ball.
And have you been up on the International Space Station?
Well, there's nobody who has been that said that there's a conspiracy afoot in this regard.
I'm just asking you, have you been on the International Space Station?
I refused. I plead the fifth.
I'll take that as a no. So if it is yes, you would probably say yeah, and say okay, it's definitely a globe. Again, we're just gonna have to make sure that you're just not taking someone else's word for it, especially when that someone else is a form of authority, and that's what we're trying to get past. I mean, do you like listening to authority and have them telling you what to do, even though you don't want to do it?
I think it's really impressive, you know, the reaches that science's like achievements of science.
Why don't you like answering any of my questions when I answer your questions, Ben?
Well, I am answering your question. I'm saying that there's a great precision with which they calculate things in the sky.
I just asked you, do you like
it's
look,
very
look, you're not answering my question again. I just asked you, do you like listening to authority when they're telling you to do something that you don't want to do? It's simple yes or no.
Well, it's complex. It's complex, dude. Yeah, I have an authority complex in ways. I think like sometimes I don't like just do things just to be stubborn, but you know,
like answering a question. I get it. Okay.
The hard way.
Go ahead.
And there's situations where you know, you need someone to keep you honest, or keep you hardworking, or keep you whatever else. Anyway, up to your own standards, even that like authority hierarchy is necessary in ways.
Well, how is it necessary? When is it necessary?
I don't know, man. I don't want to really get into all it.
You just stated an assertion, and you said you don't know, and you don't want to talk about it. Then why you mention it?
I believe that the government wants accurate data in science, like where corporations might be found more often, like messing with the numbers and making things look better for their drug or for their whatever. But like the government really wants actual good science and data. Like military wants good data, like information about physics and about everything in space and whatever, especially these days.
Sure, why not?
I think that the science is accurate.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't think we're being lied to. I don't think that there's a conspiracy about the shape of the Earth or the size of the Earth or the location we are in the solar system and in the galaxy.
Do you think there are weapons of mass destruction after 9/11 in Iraq?
Nope, never did.
Why would they lie?
Well, why would they lie this time, in terms of the Earth being not?
I'm not talking to you about this one. I'm just talking to you about you don't think that there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq after 9/11. I just want to know why they would lie for that. I'm not asking you why they would lie for this.
Oh man, that was another political debate for another era, man. It's like the Obama debate about healthcare lasted for 8 years. With the debate about fucking Iraq and should we be in Iraq?
It's not really a debate when you don't answer a question.
Yeah, it never really was worth the time because it never got. There's nothing. Like you said, it never got anywhere.
Again, you don't answer my question. What's the purpose of this dialogue? Why do you like saying stuff and then it's not even worth talking about and moving on to something else?
Well, I just was I already said what I had to say about flat Earth. Is that I think that people always wanted a bird's eye view. They got it. We get it now scientifically, and I don't think there's any lies going on.
Where is the scientific proof that the Earth is a globe?
Yeah, that's what I got. That's what I came on here to say. Was
I know.
We wanted to get a bird's eye view. We did, and we know what the fucking situation looks like now. It's people have sailed across the Earth for 400 years, and the consensus is it is what it is, and we all know that. And it's like I'm glad for this. Appreciate the skepticism, but maybe the skepticism will help people like look at it more tangibly and actually like once you find out like
exactly.
that it is. It isn't a conspiracy. It is.
For a skeptic, I seem to know the history and the observations and the assumptions and the science and the formulas better than you.
Maybe.
Why is that?
I know that the moon. They used to say like Jupiter had like 15 moons or something. Now it has like 80. These things change over time, but roughly speaking, the shape and mass and things like that of the universe, like Elon Musk and Neil deGrasse Tyson. they're all telling the truth, actually, I believe.
Do you think you could see the curvature of the Earth from 30,000 to 120,000 feet up in the air? Hello?
I'm not sure about that height. I don't know.
Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson says you can't. It's flat. What do you think about that?
Pretty cool. Pretty interesting.
Okay.
It's not my favorite topic. I feel like honestly, I would be really.
It's really open topic. So what do you want to talk about?
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, no, I mean, whatever, man. I don't really have much to say about the Mandela thing either.
Okay.
There's nothing. I mean, it was interesting to see the Mueller report. It's cool to see a bunch of people on Twitter who are like really kind of like speaking like the truth right now through like a pretty clear context. I think it.
How do you know they're speaking the truth?
Well, from my point of view, they're being like.
So truth has a point of view.
Democrats. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone has their own version of what the truth is and what the facts are, what reality is. And I think that people are being critical on the Democrats and saying like, hey, see, this Mueller report was a bunch of was a big nothing burger. Was a big it was all for nothing, giant waste of time, giant distraction, and just trying to support your narrative of that you were actually cheated in the last election, when we all know the truth is that you were doing the cheating, and the finger is starting to point back around to them because they got us all pointing the finger at the Russians or whatever for 3 years, and it's just a nice thing to see. But then, like they're saying, the hysteria is still going to continue. They're just going to find new ways to have new conspiracy theories that Trump is just covering it all up and just really slick or something. I mean, I can see that. You're the president. You could do things like that. I mean, I can see that.
Let's circle back to truth. Everyone can have their own truth, and it could be that's the truth. So if a coin flips and one person says it's tails and another person says it's heads, what's the truth? Is it both? Both are telling the truth?
Yeah, if only everything was so simple like that, like if only every word was just translated like to another language, like apple, manzana, pingua, like that would be really easy. Learning new languages would be boring, but there's a lot of challenge when you have to really translate difficult language, nuanced, intricate sentences or paragraphs into another language. It's really challenging, and it's just not so easy. It's not so obvious, and
well, when it is obvious,
it's not so easy. The truth isn't so obvious. It's not.
It is, and I'm giving you an example.
I think it's really dangerous to think that you know the truth.
You don't have to. Like, truth doesn't need a representative. Truth is truth. Just because someone says it and more people believe that person doesn't mean it's true. No one could believe it's the truth, and it's still true.
The T is sacred.
Like, I could say that I'm not wearing a wedding ring on my hand. Is that true or is it not true? Simple, right? Tell me, is it true? What I'm saying, is it true or is it not true? That's simple truth. It is or it isn't. I am or I am not. So tell me, am I wearing a wedding ring on my hand or not?
Okay, is man born good or man born evil? What's the truth?
That's something else, and I wouldn't know yet. But look at, I'm telling you just something pretty simple. Are you talking to me right now?
Yeah, but these truths don't
yes, and that's the truth, right?
These truths don't allude to anyone. They're not confusing anyone. They're not hard to.
But why do you have to make it complicated when I'm just telling you simple truths? And all you have to do is make it simple, and that's how deductions are made. That's how truth is found.
You said truth was a belief. You said
it's not a belief.
It's an opinion.
I didn't say it's a belief.
Yes, I think that what you think is true is your opinion of what you think is true only.
Find me saying truth is a belief. It's easy. You just look around. Obviously, if I said it before, you can find a video snippet of that, right?
Okay, yeah, but anyway, I'm just telling you how it is that I see it to be that way.
And I'm telling you how I see it.
That's what's on the internet right now.
Anyways, to answer the question, yes, I am wearing a wedding ring on my hand. That's the truth. All right, that's that. Pretty simple. Of course, you would have known until I showed it to you. And you can easily find out the truth by me just showing you.
It's just not a challenge. These kind of matters and questions aren't challenges really to discern.
Yes, it is.
Not really.
It doesn't matter. I feel like I'm just speaking to a. I don't know. Someone who doesn't like to answer questions. Someone doesn't like to. See it a different way than you see it yourself. That's fine. It's just how it appears to me. I mean, am I wearing glasses right now?
Perception. It's perception and sometimes misperception.
But you can see things, right? You can see the truth before your eyes, right? I mean, is something that you're looking at not really there? Is that your truth? You don't really know?
No, I mean there is things that when you look at it, you see what anyone would see when looking at that thing. And then
Okay,
there's
there we
things
go.
that,
We started somewhere. That's something that we can apply, right? That's
right,
something
but then I would
universal.
say that almost nobody is such a saint that they're able to, or
We're
such
not
a
even
like.
we're not even going
Practical.
there yet. We're just starting
I
simply.
don't think there's anybody that's just seeing the world like that. I think people all are painting it. On top of that, they have their subjectivity that they
Do
put a lot of subjectivity.
Do mathematics lie? Does 1 + 1 always equal 2? Or can 1 + 1 equal 3?
There are questions about like 2 + 2. Like there are really famous mathematicians and philosophers that talked about it for centuries.
Okay, so tell me what they think and tell me what you think. First, I'd like to know what you think, and then you can tell me what they think.
Oh, I don't know. I just know like people like Bertrand Russell, and I've just listened to some podcasts where they talked about that. They deconstructed it in some fancy ways and like, asked the question, what do we really know and how do we, how permanent is that?
What's the point of reading all these books, listening to all these podcasts if you can't formulate your own opinion on it, and you don't seem to provide any of your opinions on it?
Well, honestly, what you're asking me if what were you asking me again? Is 2 + 1 3?
Is there truth to mathematics? Is there ever a time 1 + 1 does not equal 2? Is 1 + 1 always 2?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Probably.
What else should we talk about?
Oh, nothing. I don't mean to like railroad your conversation. I try to stick to the flat Earth and things. Like I was just gonna say I don't have much to say about Mandela topic, and then the only other thing on mine that I had was how Twitter is kind of reminding me of like when WikiLeaks came out. A bunch of freaking actual liberals out there. Because I think people who actually care about social justice and whatever it means, actually, they see the fake ones and they know that there's all these fake people there alongside them doing it for the wrong reasons. Instead of like, I think being a real leader when it comes to equality and social justice and stuff. Like that's gonna eventually it's gonna really rub everyone the wrong way, and hopefully that's my hope.
What are the wrong reasons of being? What are the wrong reasons of supporting social justice?
Well, when you don't actually genuinely support it as much as you want to just like pay lip service to the notion of it, like that's absolutely the worst part of it.
How would you know someone's doing that?
Yeah, exactly. They blend in really so well. So, and yeah, if you call somebody out like falsely, like then shame on you, right? So they can always play that card too. But you never know. Just kind of like fake bots and things, and people who are in the YouTube comments. You never know if they're actually, they're getting paid to make comments or something. I think you've talked about that before.
But if you never know, then how do you know it's occurring?
Good point. That's a good point.
Okay.
But I think that our hunches and our other background details supportive details might such as like other governments are doing that. It's already in practice. Other governments are doing that really rampantly, frequently. So it's pretty likely that the U.S. government's probably putting in some propaganda like things in the chat room or in the YouTube comments or whatever. Like they probably or have seen like what kind of success other countries are having with manipulating and influencing public thought and perceptions and things.
So government will provide propaganda, they'll lie, serve its own purpose, and you still support government?
Man, you got tons of tough questions tonight, man. I support government. I guess I'm gonna take the radical approach and say, yeah, I support that there's a government. I'm not an anarchist actually.
Okay. Do you ever think so when do you think the last time there was a government within the United States that you would have fully supported?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I fully support my government in Oregon. You know, I actually think that like Kate Brown is hopefully going to sign some pretty cool continue to sign some pretty cool liberal legislation. Even though I don't agree with her on everything, it's like pretty happy with my government here. There's a lot of more things they could do, and they could do a lot more. But at least it is nice to have a Democrat, you know, as a governor, or have a Democrat, hopefully as president, that will sign some whatever mediocre liberal legislation. But you know, I obviously hope for more. Obviously want to, you know, Ocasio-Cortez to be like replace Pelosi, and then have her like be under Bernie as president, and then see them sign some stuff. But you know, just we need everything we can get for the environment, or for, you know, education or whatever. You know, I'm not a greater good. I'm not a greater like. I just said earlier that I should like technically will like play lesser of the two evil game, even though I hate that. But you know, I'm just saying like I'll take a little bit of good, I'll take a little bit of benefit, and they're doing a lot of good progressive things in Oregon.
What are some of the things in Oregon that they're doing that's pretty good?
Well, they they just passed a statewide housing, what is it called, like a cap on housing, what do you call that, the price, you know what I'm talking about. And then they're thinking about, or they're trying to get this initiative to where like the government will pay for people to install solar panels, like pay them back to install solar panels, which I think is really, really positive. The government here just expanded Obamacare, and like even went further than the Obamacare, you know, criteria, and like expanded it and made it permanent, and said that even if Trump like would cancel Obamacare, the state will still fund all of it. So that's really, really, and especially for, you know, kids and dental and whatever, it's really, really cool for us in Oregon. And they're also talking about legalizing mushrooms, which I think is cool.
Psychedelic
so there's a lot of
mushrooms.
Yeah, and then there's actually a matter right now, some legislation calling for extreme environmental reforms, which I think that Kate Brown would be a lot more likely to sign, of course, than her Republican contender just last year that she beat. Like she'd be at least, she possibly would sign them, and then yeah, that would be really awesome. That would be probably the best of all, is the environmental stuff.
Is there, for the environmental stuff, does that mean just cutting down on the pollution rates and things like that now, or is it just
we're having really bad forest fires here every year now, and it's really, really awful, atrocious, and bad, and hard to deal with, and annoying, and it's costing a lot of money, and it's just they're just trying to use that argument, and the argument about losing our groundwater and whatever, and protecting our water, which we had to fight the Nestle from trying to drill a hole through Mount Hood to sell all the water out of there.
Oh,
that almost happened.
Can't argue against that. Nestle, oh my goodness.
Yeah, fortunately, there's enough conscientious, environmentally aware people here that they like got the boycotts and petitions in place to shut it down. So they were just about to sell it out to Nestle.
Is there fracking going on in Oregon at all?
They put some pipelines in, like pre-pipelines that kind of scared some of the activists and stuff, and then they were actually doing one experimental kind of fracking thing on top of an old volcano, which doesn't seem wise. That's down by by Crater Lake and south of Eugene. I forgot what the actual place was, between Eugene and Crater Lake, and they're fracking some old volcano. But that's, I think, the only site right now.
Okay.
They're putting some pipelines along the Columbia River, and like that kind of scares people, like that, you know, they would have the infrastructure there for something eventually. For sure, like Eastern Oregon is just a bunch of like rural areas that would definitely sell out their land for quick profits, you know. Some legislatures, they could get some legislatures in to do their bidding. Damn lobbyists.
Yeah. So there really isn't a movement for that in the environmental, I guess, cleanup legislation that's occurring in Oregon.
What's that?
They're not stopping the fracking that's going on.
On that volcano, no, I don't know what the hell. That just got like a loophole. That was like a loophole thing. But I think that's the only well. I think there's like no traditional fracking wells in Oregon, but there's like this weird specialized one that fracks a volcano.
I don't see how anyone could think that's a good idea.
I know. It just seems like, I mean, you got yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can find it too. I mean, it's like you can find it if you search it. It's not something that's hidden or something, or like obscure conspiracy theorist stuff. Not that you would care.
Hey, I care about anything. I like talking about anything.
I feel bad supporting them, and Ron Wyden, that guy, he used to love that guy, and he's just completely like talking about Russia stole the elections. I can't support any Democrat who talks like that, and you know, in party rhetoric, in line with the party rhetoric, and just like just repeating the mantras and stuff. Ugh. But you know, this at the end of the day though too, I do want to see liberal shit happen. So it's like, okay.
So 2 companies want to frack the slopes of a volcano. This is SmithsonianMag.com. It's the Newberry volcano in Oregon.
Yeah, they're doing it, I thought.
This article is from October 4th, 2012. And let's see what the 2 companies are. Alta Rock Energy Incorporated and Newberry Geothermal. And yeah, they said it's the perfect testing ground for a new project that would see the tools of hydraulic fracturing or fracking turned on an idle volcano. Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow, you can't make this stuff up.
Exactly. No, it's actually. Yeah, man. What do you think? Do you think Bernie has a chance?
No, I don't think so.
Bernie?
No.
Yeah, I think like remember how Obama was like really like everybody was going crazy the first election, but then the second election people didn't like turn out as much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't know if Bernie's people are gonna have as many people turn out for the rallies and stuff, which might be a factor. You know, he had a big start, but I'm worried about if he can actually make it. Because I want him to. I just think he'd be a pretty good president. I still think so.
Because he folds so easily.
Maybe if he's got that POTUS, he won't do that. It won't be like that. You never know. It emboldened Donald Trump. He like sucked up to Chris Christie and stuff and used Chris Christie before he was elected, and then he's like, all right, so long, toodaloo, Chris Christie. As soon as he got elected, and he didn't give a shit because he could afford to not give a shit about Chris Christie at that point because he was moving on, like moving up. You know, maybe Bernie Sanders would be like, okay, so long, Hillary Clinton. I'm not, you know. Not gonna, you know.
You don't think Hillary Clinton's gonna run in 2020?
I mean, maybe he wouldn't be worried about Obama's legacy, like, you know, as much as he is right now, like trying to make everything nice for the image for the Democrats. If he was actually president, he wouldn't have to worry about that. Like, he would actually have bigger fish to fry.
So wait, let me kind of sideways take this conversation. You don't think Hillary Clinton's gonna run in 2020?
I hope not, and I guess I'm thinking she's not going to right now at this juncture. But yeah, okay. I hope not.
I'm
still going to be supporting Bernie no matter what, and hoping that they don't try to play the same shit twice.
Well, I have a feeling they're going to run. Hillary Clinton is going to run in 2020.
Not to say that I don't like Gabbard. The only thing I don't like about Gabbard is she didn't call for the complete removal of superdelegates. Oh well, who cares what I like? Who cares what I want? I don't know. I just wondering what you thought about Bernie. Like in 20 do you like anybody out there, independent or Democrat? Or?
I'm pretty much an anarchist now. Bernie had his chance. I mean, I do appreciate Bernie in 2016. He's the one that pretty much started my awakening process. So there's that. But, you know, I think if he didn't cave in to the pressure and he said what he said during his campaign, that he wouldn't stop, he would contest the primary all the way up to the national convention.
Basically. Yeah, he said he was going to keep fighting to the end.
Yeah. After he talked with President Obama, next day, or actually was it a couple hours later, or was it the next day? He said, "Oh, I fully support Oh, it's that night.
No, he said he had an announcement after that he left there. Like it was like right away. He said he had an announcement.
Yeah.
Or he was going to be making a speech on some such day. So you're right. It might have been a couple days after.
Yeah. And then he said he's not going to contest during the Democrat National Convention, and that he would fully support Hillary Clinton at that time. So so all the people who donated a lot of money and really hit their
faith.
I guess faith, you can call it, in him. Hope. Yeah. I mean, those
for sure.
Those people aren't gonna support him in 2020. They're not gonna give him money. I mean, a lot of people who gave money to him, you know,
I think people have an absolute legitimate right to be mad about that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It was like basically throwing us all under the bus, leaving us all out to dry, and whatever, and hanging us all. I don't know what, you know, and basically like, because he was like, you know, he took the legitimacy out of like our claim by basically doing that in such a way as he did, you know. But I guess call it a contradiction. Nevertheless, I still think that there was something calculated about it, and that it was like his only way really forward to ever have a chance later. And maybe he just resigned himself to the defeat of 2016 and said, hey, if there's going to be any chance in hell for 2020, then this is going to be it. If I play ball, play along right now, and play nice right now. And like he effed us over, but he gave himself an actual chance within the establishment. And then maybe so the ends justify the means. I don't know, Ebon. I'm starting to talk myself out of it. I don't know, but you know, I do think he's like old. I really don't like older candidates at all. I want all younger ones, but at the same time, like I feel like there's something about being old that you're kind of like tired of effing around, you know? It's like, I guess I just hope that there's something like there. Like he's like that old. He doesn't want to mess around. He really believed in those causes somehow all along, and then he takes that into the White House and does what Obama didn't do. Like you actually do what he said he was going to do. Like, you know, that's just a hope. You know what I mean? Like because he just has all that popular support, and I think that a lot of people do. You know, there are a lot of people who are from the Hillary camp and total Hillary supporters that would vote for Bernie. And so that kind of, you know, and there are a few Republicans too that would vote for Bernie. If you talk about $15 minimum wage for like, you know, Nebraska or wherever, you know, in Oklahoma and shit, and just like middle America, people $15 an hour, if that seems like that's only 6 months away, that's going to make a big difference for their lives. And, you know, there's just, there's some hope for Bernie because he's just so well known, widely known, man. But I mean, there's me being really, really, really optimistic. I'm not usually that optimistic at all. So I'm, you know,
so
that's really bold optimism for me.
So if Bernie Sanders becomes president and say the House is still controlled by the Democrats and the Senate is still controlled by the Republicans, how much do you think can actually change and get passed by Bernie Sanders as president?
It's a good question. Yeah. Could be more of the status quo. I don't know, man. I guess it depends. I guess it depends if there was like somehow real pressure, you know, even from some of the Republicans' constituents, something seems reasonable. There are things like legalizing marijuana that if the Republicans tried to oppose, you know, that you can just really, the raw constituent power could nudge the Republican senators over. But it's super bitter. It's been super bitter and like and what do you call it? Like stagnant? No. It's that stalemate. It's been the stalemate Congress for a really long time. It's been really stalemated, you know? And it's just like almost getting worse.
But they seem to pass things that the American people don't want, such as giving more money to Israel, preventing boycotts of Israel, preventing even talking about Israel in a bad light, preventing boycotts to Israel, you know, more military weapon deals to countries that are somewhat allies to the United States, more money towards the military budget. I mean, I guess I could keep going on.
Venezuela.
And on.
You know, Venezuela.
Mm-hmm. And so even though there's a stalemate in certain certain topics, certain things like marijuana or healthcare or something like that. But it seems like it falls on deaf ears whenever they pass something that none of the American people really care about or want. I mean, they care about not wanting, right? So how do you think that stalemate works when the American people are adamant about finding a making it happen, yet there is no stalemate when there's certain things that the politicians want?
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I guess just that there's a real division, like I don't know, real polarization maybe of not of like their politics, like the neoliberals and like the conservatives. I mean, like sometimes they're aligned, like you're saying, but I mean, there's like a polarization in terms of the rhetoric and the cooperation or something. There's just this there's that like it's they're just really hostile and bitter and vicious towards each other, like they were with Obama. Like that, everyone. That's why everyone gave Obama a pass to not get shit done, because they were like, well, the Republicans are just dragging their feet and they refuse to do anything and they refuse to cooperate. And like now we're getting our revenge and refusing to cooperate with Trump, and and it's like, when this is never going to end, until it does get better. It seems to actually be getting worse I thought that was impossible so many times now. Just but what's the worst thing about Trump is that the superficiality of the discussion, and the way that that this stupid Trump narrative thing took the spotlight and forefront of all the discussion, and how superficial and crap that is. That's, I think, worse than the polarized or stalemate aspect, is just the complete wacky, bizarre, absurdity of this crap, this bitterness, these embittered camps right now. It's pathetic.
Is there any legislation that's been passed since 2016 or Trump being in office that you dislike, and any legislation that's been passed that you like?
Damn, that's a good question. Yeah, some of those, that news doesn't get covered enough, or I don't hear talked about clearly enough or much. So like, I feel like I'm without that many examples to cite. I mean, there were a few things I thought were somewhat positive. A few things that were definitely negative, like war budget increases, things that take away environmental regulations, take some of the budget cuts for education. Although I'm for some budget cuts, but yeah, like I'm against the pork, right? All the pork and the wastefulness of some of the crap. But I mean, we should be researching, like, I believe really we should be researching little things. I used to think it was ridiculous. Why did you spend $5 million to research a mushroom, or research a thing, like research this algae, or research this thing? It's like, now I'm thinking, like, why don't we spend more to research some of this primordial sludge, or some of these other basic properties of our, of our ecosystem, like that each little, like, snails and how snails do their thing should probably get $5 million government grant for research. Like, I don't know. So I'm just back and forth on that whole education, funding education, grants like that. I think there should be a little bit of cuts, but what he's doing is too much. What's going on right now is too much. But I'm uneducated, uninformed, actually, to be honest. And that's like my complaint, is like the news cycle and what we talk about is just so irrelevant and trivial and stuff so much. And like the real substance of, like, the facts of how, legislation and the way that the direction of our nation is going isn't, like, we're not really covering those basic, most important, essential things, directly, or, up front, or, as much. It's like we're all about the identity politics and personality cults and stuff.
Yeah, that's always been the case. That's gonna be hard to change, since the majority, or the consensus, go by that.
Yep, like the herd, the masses. I like reading Nietzsche's thoughts about the herd.
What's your favorite thoughts about the herd that Nietzsche talks about?
I actually could answer that. If you give me a second. I got a short paragraph here of Nietzsche's about that. Well, yeah, I get a bunch of movies on top of it. I don't know. Nietzsche, have you read any Nietzsche?
Not in a long, long time. Enough to not remember anything.
Okay, yeah, Nietzsche is just a certain breed, you know, it's a certain character of he's got like this attitude, you know. I think there's like an attitude or something that runs throughout Nietzsche.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like it's only like he's kind of like if he was like a person that you could actually hang out with, he'd be one of those kind of people that's like they say it's like he's only good in small doses. Because he's just so intense, and he's like, you know, he's so like he's got this such a like how do you say, what would you say that
charisma,
cynical, like a dark cynical attitude. Yeah. I can't even find my my notes right now. That sucks. I actually have like some Nietzsche quotes written down, and there was one where he talked about the herd for like a paragraph. I actually wrote that all down. It's all good.
I mean, a quote would be good. I mean, I usually do a lot of quotes during my intro or after my intro, so I guess I could look for them, see if I like any of them.
Yeah, I'm actually still looking for it. It's like not where it usually is, which is weird. Oh, okay,
I mean,
I found it.
There's ones that I do seem to utilize quite a bit and didn't really know it was attributed to him. Like, I think the last time I read stuff, like one or two of his works, I don't know, was like in my teens. But to think about, it's weird saying that in my teens. In my teens, that's like almost 2.5 decades ago. Again, yeah, Samantha Peters. How old is old?
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, I missed a little bit of that though.
Oh, don't worry about it. Like one of his quotes that's attributed to him is that which does not kill us makes us stronger. That's kind of something you would hear everywhere, quite often.
I found a couple. I believe I think it's from Nietzsche.
Okay.
So he says, when I found again my old devil and archenemy, the spirit of gravity and all that it created, constraint, law, necessity, and consequence, and purpose, and will, and good and evil, for must there not be that which is danced over, danced beyond? He said, as composer, riddle reader, and redeemer of chance, did I teach them to create the future and all that hath been, to redeem by creating. Another one, he says, behold, here is a new table, but where are my brethren who will carry it with me to the valley and into hearts of flesh? Thus demandeth my great love to the remotest ones. Be not considerate of thy neighbor. Man is something that must be surpassed. He who cannot command himself shall obey, and many a one can command himself, but still sorely lacketh self-obedience.
I like that one.
And then the last one on this page says, what life promiseth us, that promise will we keep to life! Exclamation point.
I don't know.
This used to be a hobby of mine. I used to like just take notes out of excerpts out of literature and stuff.
What do you like most about Nietzsche, I guess?
I like his outspokenness and his free, like he felt he was like really, he had a lot of liberty in what he said. He said what he wanted to say, you know, and you know, I like his his freedom, the liberty, I guess, in his life and in his philosophy, I guess.
Okay.
Like I really admire that. He was just like on that level where he just would say whatever the hell he wanted. Basically.
So basically like Trump, huh?
Like a lot smarter than Trump. In my book. But it depends what you mean by smart. If you define smart as making money, maybe not.
Nah, I don't define smart as that. Smart is a tough definition.
Some people think money is everything, so you know what I mean? They like, since they think money is everything, they think that people who can make money are very smart. And that's the only smart. That's the most important smart, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can think money is everything, but I don't too. I'm sorry. What were you saying about Trump? What were you gonna say?
Oh no, nothing. I was just gonna say, I guess it's easy to admire someone who doesn't self-censor themselves.
Yeah, like I was talking with someone about Kevin. Remember Kevin?
Yeah.
I was like, the person I was discussing that with, you're like, yeah, Kevin, he didn't have a filter. He was just unadulterated. It was like unadulterated Kevin.
Yeah.
I actually like Kevin. Most of the time, he made a lot. Like 80% of the time, totally on board with what Kevin was saying. Every once in a while, he get like, probably like, you know, he talk about like pitchforks and the, you know, torches and pitchforks. But yeah, he was. I like Kevin though. And that dude from Norway, that guy was cool too.
Oh. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name on top of my head right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very long time.
Yes, it has. Actually, if I open up Discord, I think I might know. Give me a second.
Sure.
I usually have a pretty good memory. I don't know what it is these days. But it is also getting late, and it's been going. Live stream's been going on for 2 hours 23 minutes. I might stop it in a bit. But
Sure,
let's see. I want to just. Did I delete all my conversations? I don't know. Let me just check. It's been a long time. Wow. Yeah, I don't.
Too many conversations ago.
Yeah, there's a lot. I can't.
Probably like 1/4 of them are trolls. You know, you had to fuck with.
Maybe.
I mean, that adds to it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure someone can't remember.
I feel like I should remember too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something really simple, like 5 letters, maybe. It wasn't like Vaughn, but it was something simple.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I have such a hard time remembering. Gosh. I don't know. I don't know. He's gotten busy, I think. But he was one of the young ones. I liked his perspective and at least being able to kind of know how things are working in Norway.
Right. He's very respectful and nice, and then we'd talk about like Norway and just submit his opinion very, you know, casually and nonchalant.
Yeah.
Not very forcefully.
Because those looking for progressive socialism, like Bernie or democratic socialism, to what Bernie might want to present, you know, you're going to have to look into socialistic countries that are like Norway.
True.
The models that he's been always kind of talking about. So, I mean, it's, but a lot of people, it's, like, I don't know anymore. Like, look, I am an anarchist. I've always been independent. I've always been, non-affiliated. But socialism has always been such a bad word, and same word with progressive, in the libertarian and the conservative side, in the conspiracy theory side, and the ones who keep pitching it are right now very highly viewed gatekeepers of conservative movements or conspiracy theory movements. I tend to think that's it's made that way for a reason. The powers that be don't want that, but then it's hard to really know.
Isn't socialism like kind of like progressive? Like it can just mean different things. Like kind of like nationalism can kind of mean different things, maybe even.
Well, I might be wrong about this. My take on socialism, at least the classic definition into it, was the redistribution of goods and wealth to the workers who created the goods and the wealth. So right now we have a form of socialism right now, and the goods and the wealth go to the top, the wealthiest people in the country, and the ones who are redistributing the money and the goods to those wealthy are the working class. So it's kind of like reverse socialism. So it's redistribution of wealth to a group of to a class, you could say.
Is that oversimplification though? Like
yeah, I'm not going to go over the entire classical definition of socialism and its different.
I think it's a danger of just thinking socialism is good. Like, okay, socialism is definitely going to be good. Like, it depends how it's run. It's like the housing project, like the house.
Right.
Those could have been good if they were ran better.
In any type of system, it doesn't matter how good it might appear on paper, but if the people who are running it are corrupt, are greedy, are liars, are power mongers, it's not going to come out the way that people want to.
Right. What comes to mind for me right now is the whenever they had the Native Americans on all the reservations, right? And like they actually allocated a lot of food and stuff and resources for them, but then along the way people would just take it. They would never get to them. And the same thing probably with like foreign aid right now. There's like fraudulent charities out there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that that was like communism, and I don't mean to be ignorant when I say that. It's just like that seems like more communism. Isn't socialism admitting that there's going to be some capitalistic structure involved in it all?
I've always thought it more towards just the power of the people, and that it doesn't. It tries to limit the political structure where a few can dominate the political landscape. So it's almost like the majority rules in a way, which can also be not good. But of course,
it's supposed to limit the political structure to prevent that, you mean?
Yeah.
Like to prevent like the oligarchies and things.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, like that's I think that it's important, like you said, like if it's framed that way, that would help. Or if it was framed more clearly like that, because I like the way you frame that.
Yeah,
like that sounds so agreeable. But maybe just for me, but it seems like there's a lot of like people like in your face about if you support socialism or whatever, the Democratic Socialist Party. I don't know anything about it. I think it's kind of another version of the R revolution or something, but yeah. Well, like I'm definitely for progress in that realm. It's medicine, definitely for continuation of public schools. I love libraries. I think libraries are perfectly socialist. Yeah, they're old. They come from older time, but they're like socialist. It's like a socialist structure of helping more people be able to read books. Like, yeah.
Samantha Peters, she goes, socialism to skim milk communism.
That's funny.
Yeah,
It's funny, but it's a serious topic, though. It's like, it is not communism.
Yeah, it is
It's
not.
communism.
Otherwise, you
There's
just
no
call it
pure
communism.
There's no pure capitalism on Earth, and it's like, what are we even talking about?
Yeah.
It just makes me frustrated. Like, there's not pure, like, communism is a pure ideal. Like Plato would be like, okay, here's this ideal or idea, a form of communism, capitalism, but like, are those actually, like, there's any pure instantation, instance of like capitalism or pure instance of pure communism?
No, not really. I mean, you can talk with certain people who are like very communist purists, and I think there are two people who used to talk with us a long time ago. I'm just having trouble remembering. They're self-admitted communists, but they don't support any of the communist countries that are currently around. So there's also that.
Yeah, I mean, so like it's ridiculous to say that our society doesn't have socialism in it in some sense already, and that it's ridiculous to say that like what we have is a pure free market capitalism or anything like that, because I don't know that much about it, but I really don't believe that's the case. Yeah. Pure. I guess I heard that like Bosnia, or what was it, Ethiopia or something, has like pure capitalism where there's like no social structures, like no social nets or anything, like no social programs at all, zero. But I don't know if that's ideal. Doesn't sound that great.
I will just say I do like the idea of different countries. Whether I would rather have no. I would. I know it's not going to ever have. There's the likelihood of there not being any governments around the world, highly unlikely. But I would rather have a lot of different countries with a lot of different government structures than all following one central government structure. Like the idea of the New World Order type of thing. Because. And the good thing about having a lot of differentiation is you can see what might work. Something might work for one country that might not work for another country.
Yeah, I mean, like one country, people might be able to have limited government, and one country might need a lot of government, but nobody's going to be able to do with no government.
I don't agree with that at all.
I don't know. I don't see how that could possibly happen. Like. Then you're just gonna have to pay a non-socialist version of police and a non-socialist version of.
In your day-to-day life, how involved are you with any type of government system, whether it's local, whether it's state or federal?
I'm not at all now.
Yeah, so
I used to have Medicare.
So like how?
Medicare.
So basically, it's right now you're kind of living like, well, there is no government really because I don't really interact with them day to day.
Pay them taxes.
Yeah, is that beneficial to you at all? So
it's debatable, I suppose.
Yeah.
Technically, I don't agree with the 50% that goes to the military. I think it should be like 5%.
So you still want the taxes going to things that you have no say in? Do you have any say in any of the taxes that you pay for?
Yeah, absolutely. There's initiatives all the time that say, do you want to spend 2% extra tax for this school or this park or this whatever, blah blah.
I can say about local or municipal. I'm talking about federal taxes.
Well, you know, we're not. Yeah, you know, besides our quote democracy, it's very limited. Yeah.
And that's
I'm gonna impact the election. My vote's gonna matter for the president.
yeah. I mean, the smaller the government, the better. The local, that's better than state, and you know, state is slightly better than federal, but it's all bad to me. I mean, we have a Democratic republic, not really quite a democracy. So we have representatives. And right now, at least at the federal level, we have, what, 438 people representing 350 million citizens of the United States.
I resort to Kevin's argument on that.
What is that?
You know, there's in the Constitution, it actually calls for, like, we're supposed to have a representative per whatever it is, like 200,000, 500,000 people. It's like they're supposed to expand the Congress, and they never did anything about that. They just like left it at one fixed number at one point. That's what he said. He said in the Constitution, it originally says somewhere that that the American people are going to be entitled, like every 200,000 people, you have one representative, and it shouldn't be more than what that 180,000, whatever it was. It's a good argument.
Yeah. So okay, I was wrong. 435 members of the House of Representatives. Then you got 100 members of the Senate, so 535. Then you got a president, 536, and you got the Supreme Court justices. Are there 9 now? I think
8,
it's 9.
right?
Or is it 8?
Oh, is this? Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I might have not been paying attention to.
Yeah.
Trump appointed one.
I don't know.
He got one through.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
but of course, actually, I wouldn't even count the Supreme Court because they're not voted in by the population, right? They're appointed. So, I'd say 536, 435 members House, 100 members of Senate, and 1 president of the United States. Those are our representative government.
Somewhat directly, but
yeah.
Electoral colleges. So.
Yeah.
Did you ever look into that about that one state that was doing away with electoral colleges? I saw that.
No.
Oh yeah, I should have read it and I could say something about it.
Okay.
I just saw the headline. It was saying that one of the states, some state, was actually doing away with electoral college. I didn't know the states had like really an electoral college. I guess I should have known that. Or it's not something I ever thought about that much.
I'll look that up. Let's see.
Well, thanks for doing an open topic, man. And I heard you say, does anybody want to talk to me about the flat Earth thing? So I was just like, why not?
Actually, I was saying if anybody wanted to not talk about flat Earth.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't find that. You know me, open topic.
Sure.
I don't think I've really. I mean,
you've been covering it a lot, so it's like too much for me to like go through. But like, so what is your? Well, I don't know. I guess I wasn't coming in with too many preconceived notions about what your conception of was of all of it. I didn't know what your take exactly was, because I only tuned in here or there. Like I was watching TV and I was watching you on the commercials, or I was tuning in here and there, but I didn't mention all your like 5 hours about it. But recently, I was actually unsure about your point. So yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is I'm gonna take the point of the globe Earth model, the official narrative, the how it's presented to us, and I'm gonna scrutinize it like we should. If the government tells us that there's weapons of mass destruction in another country, we should scrutinize that allegation, right?
Yeah, or that Venezuela, because of its own actions, has its people in poverty and famine.
Yeah. So, whatever the official statement, official narrative, whatever it is, coming from authority, which is most likely able to get away with it, even if they're wrong. There needs to be a check or a balance to that power. You know, that's why we had our government set up with checks and balances, right? So it's the same thing. I'm just applying the same concept of checks and balances to what was given by authorities. So that's I'm applying the same approach.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that because you want to be skeptical about, you know, Venezuela or Iraq, that means that the Earth should be called into question necessarily, like literally. I don't know. For me personally, it's like I don't want. At the same time, I want to walk the line. I wouldn't want to like lead people like down, like you said before, rabbit holes and stuff that are just basically like never going to go anywhere. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, you're not just, I don't like just talk in circles or something. Like, hopefully there's a way to determine and move on for people who are flat or globe Earth skeptics.
Well, yeah, I'm presenting the official.
You're documenting you're documenting your journey as you go on to
provide it
to find out and what your skepticism leads you.
Timeline of Earth as a globe declarations. I'm going through the history that the government, that NASA or NOAA or physics universities or academia, just Google search results. We know that it messes with the search engine algorithms. So I'm just going to, okay, let's see what the proof is for Earth as a globe, and let's scrutinize it. Is it true? Is it based on observations? Most of them are. Is it based on assumptions? Most of them are. Is it based on scientific experimentation? Most of them are not. Do some of them have mathematical formulas? Yes, they do. Are the supposed mathematical formulas actual, universal, and constant? No, they are not. And all this other stuff. So if there are holes within the official narrative, that should be pointed out, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So that's what I'm doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of mathematics to wrap your head around.
That really is pretty simple.
No, is it?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So.
Okay. It's like it's complicated for me anyway.
Probably the most complicated formula that's provided is Einstein's field equation, his gravitational constant. That's probably the most complex formula that's presented. But Newton's law of universal gravity, his formula is pretty simple. And
I'm walking to the store, and if I might be in a bad signal area, so I lose you. I'll listen on YouTube.
No problem. I think I'm ending the stream. It's been almost 3 hours, and I want to wake up early and do a lot of stuff tomorrow. So, gonna cut it short. I'm not doing a 5-6 hour live stream anymore. All right. It was nice talking to you, Ben, and everyone else. I'll see you guys another night. Thank you for stopping by.